Batgirl, issue 22, legacy number 227, TATE BROMBAL writing with STEVEN Segovia on the art. So, this is the final part of this three-part arc, which is Dr. Forget-Me-Not. It's got Cass in a, what do we call it? A trance, I guess, hypnosis.
Yeah.
And, she's trying to figure out this murder. Now, the end of the last issue clearly implied that Cass herself killed Victoria, the other girl from her past. But she's going to spend this issue trying to deduce if that's true and what really killed her, if that's the case. And a bit more lore and backstory in this idea that basically Dr. Forget-Me-Not and David Kane effectively had a bet of whose project was working better, which girl assassin was more effective. So they had them competing. And effectively, the girl Victoria ended up just being killed by her target when she was sent out to kill someone at the age of 8. And Forget-Me-Not's been trying to convince Cass that she's behind it all. But there's some heart in here as well, which I really liked. Two things I quite liked is that basically at one point Cass, because her kind of weakness in here so far is this idea that she couldn't read and talk or write when this all happened, so she couldn't understand anything anyone was saying, but she basically finds the willpower to be like, no, I remember what they said now and I can talk now, so I'm going to understand them. So that lets her kind of re-examine things a little bit. But the thing I really like is this idea that no matter how many times Victoria had her mind wiped, because that's what kept happening. She kept being wiped with new personalities every time. That's what Forget-Me-Not was doing with his hypnosis. Yep. She still befriended Cass every single time. And that's kind of why David Kane was saying, hey, your project's a failure, because she seems to keep remembering Cassandra. But it was kind of this sign that, one, maybe, it wasn't working entirely, but it was kind of a sign that, no, this friendship was going to happen no matter what, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah. And from David Kane's side, it's like, well, no, she's supposed to be just a living weapon. No one's supposed to like her, right? Why are they befriending each other, right? So they're looking at it as both failures. So this is why Forget-Me-Not blames Cass for the death of Victoria.
For humanizing her.
Because they kept pushing things. Yeah. Also, once we see the friendship aspect, I realize how much Victoria here kind of reminds me of Steph, right? With the blonde hair. And the kind of the thing is like, is this why Cass was drawn to Stephanie Brown so much? Because there's a part of her that remembers this girl, and that was her first friend, right? And that's what has driven her towards that friendship and whatever. So I also liked it on that level. But yeah, that whole thing of them, there's that page of Victoria hugging her and her being surprised, right? They're in the geese on the top of there. And just the look on the face, the art is really doing a lot of it here. But yeah, I really love this aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the heart of it, and this idea that they kept forming this for, even though both their quote unquote fathers, because Forget-Me-Not wasn't actually a father, but effectively he was. Is this idea that they were trying to basically not have them be little girls, and they just kept finding a way to do that anyway, despite them. Not even intentionally, just because naturally that's what's going to keep happening, because they can't take that away from them, not entirely. And it's it's kind of a heartwarming tragedy to it. And we find out the body they found at the crime scene isn't even really her. This is just another random corpse that Forget-Me-Not dressed up and did some setup with.
Yeah, because he was going to get his revenge on Cass no matter what, right? And that's what we find out too. Is like, oh no, he put those things in there so he could do this later, but he's going to do it regardless.
Yeah.
And then the hint that, Victoria could still be out there somewhere. So I did like that little hint. Yeah,
is she even dead? Maybe that's something Brombal's going to bring back later in the run, is maybe she is out there somewhere, which would be interesting. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing where Bronze Tiger finds Forget-Me-Not in the bunker area and beats the crap out of him, and talks to his son about the fact that, hey, this is why I was so protective of keeping you on the farm, because I knew how Cass had it growing up, and I was getting brainwashed as well, as an adult down here, and it was miserable. So it feels like Tenji kind of understands his sister a little bit better after hearing some of this backstory stuff that maybe she hasn't spoken about too much. But no, Cass does go full Batgirl inside the hallucination and grabs Dr. Forget-Me-Not, which is satisfying, kind of punches all the flowers away. So he's kind of, it's basically she's decapitated him, but it was just flowers, so it's okay. So it doesn't feel that violent. It just feels like, a representation of like the victory, if you will.
Yeah, and it's too that she grabs him, right, which is something that she could not do, right, because she had no control in this realm, and grabs him by the collar and lets him know that I'm not a weapon. So it's almost like it's that revelation that I'm not a weapon. That's almost what does the head going away. Like, he has no more power control here, because I don't even see like a fist landing, right?
That's
just the body that's missing the flower heads.
That's true.
So it's almost like she broke this reality. He can't be here anymore.
Yeah, and then she wakes up on the next page, like there's the top panel on the next page where she starts gasping for air, and they're like, oh, Batgirl's awake. So it's a big thing. And then she, does hit him a bunch of times for real. So, that's fun.
Kicks him. Round kick right to the head. Like, get him, Cass.
Yeah. He does try to brainwash Tenji a little bit, but Cass just quickly snaps him out of it.
she hits him in the back of the neck with the chop, and that snaps him out, which I did like. Yep.
A couple of epilogue stuff at the end. Jaya's talking to someone. Basically talking about mask? What she's doing, and this person in the mask, which makes me wonder, is Jaya got ulterior motives, or is this just her reporting into someone that she wants to, for herself? But it does feel like it's setting something up. And then Gordon talks to Cass about how they've caught this guy. The Vandal Savage's police force are going to take credit for solving a murder here, even though it has nothing to do with them. But they're never going to give you credit for it. So. Yeah, but it's the kind of nice seeing them kind of talk to each other, like, because obviously Gordon talked to Batman a lot, and he's talked to his daughter a lot, but it's kind of nice where, like, Cass is the Batman here, where she's just, like, one word, like, he's like, like, Savage is already, like, building a success story out of this for the press, and Cass just says, Gotham, and he's like, yep. They get each other, they just get each other really easily, which is really nice. So,
and then I do like how the friends are standing in the shadows. Right, so it's not quite a Batmaning, right? Because Gordon turns and leaves, but Bronze Tiger, J Tiger, and Jaya are all there, and that's where we find out that maybe they call Victoria Paper Doll, which that's a good name for that character, right? Because she can be anything.
Well, that was the idea. Last issue is that she's a paper doll; she can become anyone for the job. Yeah,
and that she could still be out there, and then we get Cass's memories of them together again. It's like, let's go home though, and then. I also like that the smoke kind of looked like those purple flower petals, right? So kind of, thematic ending. The petals are falling here. But really, the 3-issue arcs of these tend to do better tend to be better than the longer, ninja stuff. So I quite like this one.
I don't know if it's the length that's the problem, though. I think it may just be the ninja stuff was...
The content?
Yeah, it was not very good. But yeah, like that final panel in silhouette as like, going home, and it's that kind of the quiet contemplation of maybe Victoria's still out there somewhere, and all the memories of her up top. Like, I think it successfully put this into Cassie's backstory and made me care about it enough that I wouldn't mind her finding Victoria someday, and that could be a cool thing if we ever get there. So, I mean, credit due for that, and I think the reason why I don't mind this is because almost always, whenever they retcon someone, well, first of all, with the other characters, they've done it too many times, so anytime they try and retcon someone into Batman's past, I'm just rolling my eyes, like, no, stop it, you've done this too many times, it's such a cheap trick to try and fit someone in. Cass doesn't have as much of that, right, because there's not as many Cass stories, and I think the reason why it works here is because normally it's usually about setting up a villain. Now, don't get me wrong, if Victoria does ever show up, it is possible she'll start off as a villain. Like, she's been an assassin for years, she doesn't remember who Cass is, and it's going to be a part of the story to make her remember, blah, blah, blah. You can see you can see how that'd go. But the fact that we started here with, like, the happy story of this, like, no, this childlike friendship that formed in spite of the horrible situation both of them were in, it's nice, it's heartwarming, and it's like, okay, you made me care, not because you're obviously setting up a villain, even though that might be the story you go with. You made me care because no, there's a heart to this. That's like, hey, even before Cass met Batman and met Gotham and became Batgirl, there was like a heart in there, even though she was a killer and couldn't speak to anyone. That's kind of nice. So
I like it.
Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah, it kind of gets into that nature versus nurture. That they're trying to nurture the bad stuff.
Yeah,
but it was just in their nature to be kind and compassionate towards each other because, they were all they had. That was that friendship that kept them normal. And no matter what they did, they were going to keep fighting each other. Yeah,
and arguably, maybe Cass got to her worst because it was after Victoria was gone, and David. Maybe that's when David was the most successful until she kind of ran away and eventually met Batman and all that. So, solid little arc. Definitely the best arc of the book since the first one, I think. Very comfortably even. So, what are you giving Batgirl issue 22?
I'm gonna give this an 8.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to go to 8.5. I don't think I will though. I think I'll stick with 8, but it may be just a little bit extra sauce to get it up a bit higher. But like, I do really like this issue and what it did.